Welcome everybody. I don't post much, but I think when I do post, it's shit that I think other people want to see, and it's definitely stuff I probably looked up or couldn't find. You're tuning into Quincy Projects. You don't care. That's cool. I barely do. I got a full-time job. I'm going to teach you today. Well, I'm not going to teach you. I'm going to show you what I did for my radiant floor setup on my pole barn. I got a 45 by 70 Morton pole building. I've had it since 2014. It used to be a horse barn, and I've been dreaming of making it a shop or garage. My whole life I've been working on the stones and the dirt, fixing all of my cars. Took one car to a shop because I blew a clutch and didn't have the capacity to fix it at the time. I think I could have, but I didn't want to take my Audi and do it in the driveway or this dusty ass barn. Other than that, everything's been in the driveway, in this gross barn. Maybe I sound spoiled because I do have a barn and I'm complaining about it, but I want better, and you should want better for yourself too. So I'm going to kind of walk you through. I know you guys don't care about my personal life, but I'm going to walk you through kind of things I found along the way. Not guaranteed that I did it correctly. Not guaranteed that it's going to work out the way it's good. Not guaranteed that I'm going to be able to, no. Cut. It's not. All right. It's not that I have stage fright or anything. I love public speaking. I've had a lot of concussions and head injuries, trauma, and sometimes I just get caught in these word loops of sorts. It's really funny sometimes. Sometimes it's really frustrating. But what I was saying is, what I did here might not be applicable to your application. Double applicable in a sentence. I don't know if that's right, but I'm hoping you get some tips and tricks and little things along the way. At least learn one thing, because I probably watch 10 videos before I do something, and learn one thing, two things from each video. So that's all this is for you. Just add to your portfolio. But I'm going to show you how to do this. God, look at that transition. See that? See that shit? Oh, got the loops there. Lift gonna be there. All right, I'll be back in a second. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is identify what you want. Do you want to keep this warm all year? Are you going to insulate the rest of the thing? Do you just want to take the chill out of the air? Do you just want to dry? It doesn't matter. Just find out what you want to do and download the program LoopCAD. Okay? You can get a 30-day free trial. Just type in LoopCAD. I forget the host website, but I think they're probably trying to sell you the program. But you can get a free 30-day trial and run all your simulations. What I chose to do was half-inch pecs, spaced at 10 inches for the main shop floor, and then for what will be my clean room right here, about 12 foot by maybe 45 or 50 foot, something like that. I did 8 to 9 inch spacing. What I had to do on LoopCAD, they can auto-generate some stuff, but what I had to do was actually hand do all these, or hand create all these with their tools, which was a little painstaking, but beggars can't be choosers. So I first started with and this was recommendation from I think I saw it on Garage Journal. Maybe, and definitely the concrete guy said, but I have a 6-inch set of pipes, or 6-inch spaced set of pipes that go all the way around the perimeter. Now, that's actually 2 sets of loops for me. The first one stops around here, so concrete guy said it's going to really help with that cold infiltration here and keep your floor from getting frosty. But I went on LoopCAD, designed my loops, got an idea of how much pipe I would need and what it's going to look like, what my layout's going to look like. It did change. I did have to tweak it a little bit in the real world because it's hard to get the dimensions completely perfect, both when you're laying it and when you're planning it. But we move forward, and this is the result. So I ended up with 11 loops. So I bought 3,300 foot of PEX pipe, 1/2 inch oxygen barrier PEX from Supply House. Okay. You definitely need an oxygen barrier. Supply House, I was a little skeptical because I've never bought anything from there. I didn't know if it was like an Amazon for contractors or if it was a scamazon. But honestly, it was cheaper than what you get in the big box stores. And UPS showed up with freaking 11 boxes of those the next day. So I did 11 300 foot coils essentially. I was originally going to do about 280 foot loops. And then I decided 250 might be better, just with how I was setting it up. So I did a few, I don't know what you call simulations, a few CAD drawings. And I ended up with 250 foot. So first thing, so now you have an idea what it's going to look like, what you need. You got to get a concrete guy in here or someone to scrape back some land or scrape back some dirt, get it out of here, level it, compact some stone, and then you can come in and get to work. So what I did was I only had him dig deep about 2/3 of my barn. This will all be heated, and this will not be heated. This should definitely be able to keep this warm too, but leaving this last bit gives me a chance to put some pallet racking in, maybe some storage car lifts for my things. I can indiscriminately drill holes in this concrete, doesn't matter. Here's going to be a little different, a little tricky. So get somebody in here, get you set up, then you're going to want to get some foam board. Now, the 3 big box stores in my area's websites, which would be Home Depot, Menards, and Lowe's. I ended up put all their websites in different tabs. Total up my cart with 2-inch foam board, 2-inch 25 PSI foam board rated R10. From my research, you enough compressive strength for your floor, for concrete on top of it, and that R10 seems to be a national standard. I saw some random states. I didn't look up my specific county or state building codes, but I did see some like national stuff. I'm not sure, but I did read some codes, and it was 2-inch. And then all the guys on Garage Journal and these little crevices of the internet were all saying 2-inch, R10, whatever. So they do make some easier stuff to work with, but that's what I did. I think it's the right answer. So I ended up taking and found that this foam board was about the same. It was like exactly the same price at all 3 of these big box stores. So Menards has the 11% discount, or excuse me, 11% rebate. Lowe's has the military discount. Home Depot has a military discount. Now, wise is you might not be able to use that military discount on stuff like this. This is like contractor grade stuff, bunch of drywall, bunch of sheeting, bunch of foam board. They might not let you do that. I was able to with not too much resistance, but after the fact, they're like, "Ooh, we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna keep doing it, but I'm not gonna." You know, it's just like I was like, "Oh, you could get in trouble. That sucks." But I saved some good money, and I'll talk about the money in a little bit. It's all expensive. It's all stupid expensive, but you gotta make your dreams come true, whatever. And this is a pretty achievable dream. So I chose Home Depot. There's a Home Depot close. They had the Owens Corning, the Pink Panther stuff. I wanted that. They had sheets in stock too, because I need 78 sheets. So I drove up about 40 minutes, took 2 trips, 39 sheets apiece with my F-250 and my trailer. Strapped the shit out of that stuff and took it back home on the highway. No load shifting. Obviously, you're going to damage the corners and stuff, but who cares? Foam insulates by the density of it, not the mass. Well, not the volume. That's what I'm trying to say. It insulates by the density of it. So similar to like cellulose, fiberglass doesn't do that. You can't compress fiberglass. It'll help stop air if you compress it, but it's not really going to insulate anymore. It counts on that volume. So I ended up with 78 sheets, 2-inch foam board, laid it all, and it was a pain in the ass. First off, I got some real thick Visqueen. Concrete guy dropped it off, so I don't know what the mill is. I could probably look it up, but taped that, put the foam board down, used this furnace aluminum face tape. That seemed to work really well on this foam board. Ran up the wall a little bit. So between all the mold and the shitty plywood on the wall, you could see this red line. It was all the way across into that black line. This is the depth of the pour that they're hoping to get. So I ran up a little short of that, anywhere from 2 inches to 3/4, and cut it at a 45-degree bevel. Concrete guy said it was for mice. The codes I saw online also required this kind of thing. So I did that. Once that's down, took my loop CAD drawing, made sure it was going to work with what I had, and started laying some of this number 6 mesh, number 6 wire mesh reinforcement. Now, there's a lot of controversy here. Concrete guy is a venerable guy. He is well known in this area, pretty like word of mouth business type. But sometimes those are the best, you know. They get business not because people are desperate, but because people know. Not because people found him on Angie's List or some shit. No, but because someone saw Jim Bob's pole barn poured by him, and now they're wanting to get their pole barn poured. So he is probably the same price or a little more expensive than some guys. I did get 3 or 4 quotes. Still chose him. He was the first to quote, and I didn't even share the quotes with anyone else. Actually, no, there was one guy I did, and he came down after I shared the quote, after he said that was the final price. So I used to sell foam insulation and stuff. I hate dealing with sales guys. I hate the morality of the sales business. I was really good at it, but it takes a toll, you know. You could sell a huge job, get 10% of the commission to some old person that just wants no drafts in their house, and you could have done a $200 fix, and I don't know, but I digress. So I talked to Concrete Guy. He does this 6-inch wire mesh. I don't know if it's reinforced, but it's high compressive strength concrete. And he said that he'll pour it. And I guess he's been doing this his whole life. They'll pour it. They'll be pouring it, and they'll be lifting it up with hooks while the concrete's kind of settling in. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical of that. But I kind of trust the process, because the only other answer, which I would think would be maybe the right answer, would be to get chairs. Now there's some figures out there that if you have your rebar or mesh 1 inch above the grade into the concrete, it's going to give you like 20 or 30% more strength. I believe it. So apparently he can pull this up and kind of get it to settle in the middle, toward, not laying on the bottom. So I trust the process with him, but that's what I'm doing here. So I was able to lay all this mesh right on the foam then. Now you can get chairs and lay it on top of chairs, or put the chairs in after. I'm not sure what you do. Little plastic standoffs from the floor. But I did this. And then you're going to want to start at one end. You designed it on LoopCAD, so it should be self-explanatory. Have that drawing with you on your phone so you can use it as a guide. It's not exact. Nothing's ever going to be exact, but it's a really good guide. So I decided this will be the end of my clean room. So I decided, and shelf will probably come down, and gravity might take it down. Look at that. That's a lot of wood. That is, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overconfident. And, you know, they're going to say, you didn't store it right. You got to put little spacers in. It was, I don't care. I don't care. So I started over here. I'm going to have my boiler, manifold, water heater, whatever the hell I got. It's going to be here. And then I shoved 25 feet through, because if you remember, I have 250-foot loops I decided on. I don't know if I told you that. 250-foot loops I decided on. So I started, shoved 25 foot through, mark it with a marker, then start tacking it down. I did my perimeter first, all the way to about mid-door where that machete is or whatever. Coming back. Now, back through this. So, to be able to hold this all in place and protect your pecs, well, your pour, and then after, we got this, I think it's 2-inch or 1.5-inch electrical sweeps, conduit sweeps. So what I did is I took a board across and I connected them as close as I could get them. There's still space just by the nature of it with these conduit holders, and made them so they were on the ground. Cut back the mesh a little bit to give them some flexibility, and then tightened everything down and adjusted it later, because you're going to be pulling on this thing. You're going to be pulling on it. You might want to uncoil it and then put it in. It was kind of a bitch, but you'll figure it out. So got those sweeps in. Now I start to button everything up. And what I used were these concrete wire ties. Concrete wire ties. They're rebar wire ties. Now, that's just what I used based on my setup. If I could do it again, I think I would use a foam stapler and then do the mesh on top. Not only would that elevate my mesh, guaranteed to elevate my mesh a little bit, it would also be a hell of a lot easier, and a lot easier on the knees. I was hurting. It took me 2 weekends to do all this pecs. Actually, like 2.5, and I had a helper. But I laid all these, I'd probably 2,500 or so these little rebar wire ties or whatever, about 6 inches with these little loops, and that was a bitch. But I'm going to show you a little bit what I learned about these tools and how to use them. So, I originally bought this one. It's just your classic rebar tie. You're going to put it in, pull up on it, and twist. Then you're going to get it tight, and then knock it over so it's not sticking up, so it's not proud. I then had some time before I started putting it in, and I bought that. And I bought these bad boys off Amazon. You see them on Temu, Amazon, doesn't matter. And I couldn't find them locally anywhere. All the farm stores, anywhere. And these are the bee's knees. These things are freaking sick. But if I did it again, I wouldn't buy them. Not these. These were $24 for 2 of them. And they all broke within 100. I should have read the reviews. This should be twisting right now, and it just pulls. They both broke the same way, and all the reviews broke the same way. These are pieces of shit. Don't buy the cheap ones. I would probably buy like a $60 one on Amazon and see how that does, not 2 for $20. That was a mistake. Also, this guy. I bought this at Home Depot, where I bought my first bag of rebar wire ties. This is the biggest engineering fail. Nah, this is just a shitty design. I can't be dramatic, but it fucking sucks. See, you can see the mechanism here. You got a little plastic handle, some thermoplastic or something, and then you got I guess a bushing or a sleeve of metal all the way through the center, and you got your tie. Now it did work well when I first got it. It's got these little grippies, those little Gorilla Grips right there. Look at them sons of guns. Did a pretty good job, but they freaking sucked. This design sucked. So they have this, to be cheap to manufacture, They have 3 pieces. They have the, just a second. They have the handle grip. What the hell? Just get down here. They have that little bushing, and then they have this bent piece. So they thought, oh, I'm going to be clever and just use those pieces, and they ended up put some dog ears over here. They crimped it, stamped it, whatever you call it. They heated it up, compressed it, so it was jutted out farther than that bushing. But all it did over time, about 600, 700 wire ties, maybe less, maybe more, it wore down those ears. Those are pretty big. Wore down those ears to the point where this thing does not operate anymore. Fuck you, Home Depot, and fuck you, Anvil. That is so shitty. I thought Anvil was a name brand. I have some trowels I use for drywall and shit. That's shitty. So then I'm looking for a replacement. I went and bought 3 of these at Menards. They're cheaper. I don't like the grip as much right here. That hook doesn't work as well, but the design is way better. So I bought 3 anticipating I was going to break them again, but they included a washer, which is entirely too logical, and they press the end a lot more. So it didn't really wear down on the one I used, and it stayed spinning nice and smooth with this little washer. So avoid what I did. Don't buy the Anvil one. Buy this Menards special. It's like $5. Wood handle, heirloom quality, I wouldn't say, but whatever. So you tie those bad boys down, and then you try to think of the future. You can't really predict the future unless you're like a Nostradamus or some shit, but you do your best. So I knew that I was going to want a car lift, so bada boom. I got these oversized, deeper areas for the car lift. I even ran some pecs in the middle of it, so when you're standing there, your little tootsies don't get too cold. And then I thought, I knew I was going to do a clean room, so I left about 2 feet, 1.5 feet, 2 feet on either side of this beam. So when I have to put a post in to carry the load of what will be a ceiling and a haymow or whatever you want to call it, a mezzanine, I don't fucking know. I can drill through here. I can mark that easily. I can find it easily till I get to this point. So I thought of this too, and I thought of making my manifold over here. But if I change my mind and I don't want a wall here, I'm going to have all of my equipment and manifold and everything just smack in the middle of this floor. Or if the next guy that buys this house doesn't want a wall here, he's going to have all this shit jutting up in the middle of the floor, and that just didn't make sense. So I put it back, I put it on the wall, and then I made sure that these were all spaced out around 10 inches. Okay, I did that for a few reasons. First reason, these are 10-inch loops. My clean room is going to be 8 to 9 inch. So these are 10-inch loops. Pole barns on different forums and stuff, they say 12 inches. I did a little extra. Don't know if it's going to help. I'm hoping it will. So these are at least 10 inches apart. Okay. And so I imagine I can measure these out, right? I can find a point of reference. I can measure them out, take pictures, but I don't think it'll be accurate no matter what. You're going to be pouring concrete on here. You're going to be stepping on here. You're going to be lifting it up to get it to settle in the middle of the concrete. I don't think it'll be accurate. So my thought is, as long as where I'm going to put that wall is spaced out enough, that if my measurement's not accurate, I just shoot right in the middle of where I think those things are. And if I'm off 4 inches or so, if I'm right in the middle, give or take 2 inches, I should be okay. You know, if I take a FLIR or a thermal camera in here, heat up my pipes, and I make a bunch of chalk marks on the floor where I think the pipes are, those won't be accurate. They'll be close. They'll be damn close. So I know that if I just start, I see a hot spot here and a hot spot here, and I put a line right in the middle, I can come off that line a few inches, and I know I'm going to be safe. I'm in that nice little bubble there. So I made sure that's all spaced out for these long runs. I was a little scared, so I ended up just making it a little bit fatter because I can't predict the future, but I can try. Yeah, so everything ties back in. Over here. Now this all might be too tight together. I think it'll be fine. We'll see. Got my sweeps sitting on the lowest part they can, and they're tight, and I foamed them, and that board's level. Then I went through and I pressure checked all these. I saw some different PSI. People put them at like 100 PSI. I did about 40, 43 PSI. Went through, let them all sit for a few minutes apiece. A couple of them I let sit for a lot longer. No drop in pressure. I know I'm good. And now I have the proof. Essentially, I don't know if it's admissible, but I have the proof. I did pressure check my system. So if the concrete somehow messes it up, I can show like, hey, I had it pressure checked. So if I could do things different, a couple things I'd do different. I'd put more mesh down. I'd use the chairs. And I did not put mesh in between the posts. I don't know if that's going to cause any issues in the future, but I think I probably should have. And those chairs would be nice because then you're guaranteed a standoff. You're guaranteed it's not just going to sink to the bottom. I'd probably do the foam stapler method with mesh on top of that on standoffs. So then what you do, you come along with a big old gat with a bunch of plastic staples loaded in it, and you can just standing up, just ka-chunk those staples down, and while you walk and stand up. Now, I don't think your lines are going to be as clean as laying them against a nice square reinforcement. I don't think they'll be this clean, but does it matter? For me, it did because I want to try to take some measurements and try to at least get a little accurate, have something a little predictable, but nothing's perfect. So I think that's pretty much it. I rambled for about 30 minutes. You guys probably don't give a shit about half of that. That's fine. But I got it out there. Hopefully someone gets something from it. I'll keep posting as I go along with this. Hoping to get that lift put in. Hoping to get like a digital combo lock on my door so I can have everybody that wants to come in here and use this shop. I want to give people in my circle what I didn't have. Give them what I don't have. Give them what... So I have something now, and I want to share it. That's what I want to do. So don't worry about subscribing or liking. Just do a good job, I guess. I don't know. Try to do the right thing. See you guys. Peace. That was gay. Yeah, there you go.